I was at Air One 2 days ago, walked up to the hot bar, was like, buffalo cauliflower, and I'm standing there, and this guy walks up to me, and he's like kind of standing next to me, and he goes, I'm sorry to interrupt you. Are you Autumn? And I was like, yeah. He's like, oh my gosh, my wife loves you so much. And he's like, do you mind if I take a photo? She's gonna just die. And I was like, of course. And his teen daughter comes walking up, and she's like about to say something to her dad, and she looks, and she's like, oh my God, no way.
When I notice I lose focus, I just realign. I'm on my grind.
Speaking of dying, I slept on my neck.
Again, you in this neck situation. It's been like 2 months.
I don't know what I need. I like a really squishy, like my pillow is it's like, I don't like a pillow where my head's propped up.
Yeah.
But I don't know, my neck.
I just had a company reach out to me, a pillow company, that is sending me their pillow that's supposed to be really good for like whether you're a side sleeper, back sleeper, or stomach sleeper, and it puts your head in the right position.
You'll have to let me know.
I'll let you know what I think. Because I'm same, like, I definitely don't like a super firm propped up pillow because that's like uncomfortable, but I don't like it too squishy.
Right. And mine is.
But I use like the king size pillows, like the long ones, because I'm a side sleeper, so I want to like tuck. So I'll have to see about this pillow because it looks almost like a butterfly, like the shape of it, so that there's a place like for your shoulder or your arm or whatever. But I don't know. We'll see. Well, I'll let you know if my neck is better.
I also want one that's for sleeping like on your stomach or almost, because my body can't handle that anymore either. I wake up and I've lost feeling in half of my body. I'm like, I either slept wrong or had a stroke while I was sleeping. Or both. And I'm like, oh God, my bed's going to look like Dylan's because he has that crazy pillow.
The body pillow.
Exactly.
No, seriously. I know. I'm a side sleeper and my shoulder, I'm so annoyed. I don't even know what I did. Because it's the same shoulder like that I had all the stem cells done on, and it was doing so well and it felt so good. And I don't know if I slept on it wrong because I didn't do anything in a workout or anything like that was like, oh, that hurt.
I wondered if like the classes we went to, but
no, I was really careful. Like I know what my limits are with my shoulder and things like that. And it was before that I actually, but yeah, I'm a side sleeper on my shoulder. And so yeah, same thing. I wake up and I'm like, bitch, this ain't it.
This is not it, honey.
But I don't like sleeping on my stomach because I feel like it pushes my face.
I know.
And then I'm like, well, these wrinkles aren't getting any better.
When I initially lay on my stomach, I position it in a way that I feel that it pulls my face.
Do you ever wake up in the morning and have a pillow lying on your face?
Yeah.
Takes
48 hours
to go away. What is that?
The other day I looked at my face and I was like, I haven't been asleep for 6 hours.
Like,
why is this line? I look like Scarface. I'm just coming right down.
Seriously. I'm like, I've plunged my face in the cold plunge. I've put every moisturizer on it. At what point does it plump back up? Like, come on.
Yep.
I'm like, what are we doing here?
Oh my God. I remember I was like 16 and I just splash water on my face and go about my day. Oh no. You gotta
now it's like an
up.
18-step routine. Exactly. And by the way, I finished and I'm like, is it any better?
Is it better?
Might be.
Yeah.
Also, might not be. Hard to say. I'm going to manifest that my skin just tightens.
Me too. Talk about, we could unlock that.
That's
manifestation
Jumanji next
power.
level.
I mean, I'm a pretty strong manifester.
Same.
And so you never know. Might be
next.
Exactly.
Just all of a sudden, everybody's like, wow, they look so great. Power of manifestation.
That's right.
I do think being happy helps your skin a little bit.
Yeah. And,
Young.
Yeah. Youthfulness. The lack of the stress. But the thing is, you also have to find that happy, non-stress place to manifest the things you want.
That's true. Talk to me.
So
tell me more. You're a manifester. I'm a manifester.
Yeah. I feel like the thing is, I feel like when people have experiences that they have manifested things that they want in their life, they say, oh, I'm a good manifester. But I have a theory that actually everyone is a good manifester, but it's like whether you can control your manifesting ability, your power. Because why are you smiling like that?
Do you ever say words so many times that it just loses all meaning? And you're like, what are you saying?
Oh God.
We've said the word manifest so many times now that I'm like, what a dumb word.
But it's a slippery slope because then I don't know if it's my brain condition, but then all of a sudden no word makes sense. I'm like, why is brown?
No, we can't.
They're just sounds.
They're just sounds,
out.
yes. But okay, so everybody's a good manifester in your opinion.
Yeah, it's just about like manifesting,
tapping into the power of it.
What you want versus what you don't want, because they say like, and I think people are into this kind of conversation. The first, I think, big book that everyone read was The Secret. Mm-hmm. There's a lot about manifesting, and it said, I think, and I actually never read it, but I'm gonna quote it just like I do the Bible, honey. Somebody said,
we love to talk about books we've never read.
Yeah,
love language.
Exactly. Never read it, but I bet this is what it says. That the universe doesn't hear no. And so like I actually have talked about this in terms of how people pray a lot, because a lot of times how I grew up, people would pray like, I pray against
you pray
poverty.
For what you don't want.
I pray that I will no longer be afraid of driving on the freeway, whatever your thing is. But actually what you're building more of an emotion of is that fear.
Right.
And so
you're praying for what you don't want, or you're telling the universe, God, creator, whoever, what you don't want.
Right.
Instead of leaning into, I want courage to be able to drive, or I want to feel like my most vibrant, healthy self. Instead, It's like, I don't want disease. I don't want da-da-da. So you're still saying all the things you don't want instead of great, we know what you don't want. What do you want?
Exactly. And I think like finding ways to live in that space. To be a little bit churchy for a minute. And when like God presented himself to Moses in a burning bush, whether you believe in the Bible or not, just go with the story. And asked like God's name, and God was like, I am. Mm-hmm. And it's like, that's why if we have this energy flowing through us, and that's how I believe that is like God's source energy, then we should be making I am statements, not constant I am not statements. Right. God didn't say I am not and then go down the big list of all the things that God isn't.
Right. He just said I am.
And so it's like, I am, if that is our creation power, then speak on what you are, speak on what you want, and think about those things.
I am youthful.
I'm snatched as fuck.
I am rich beyond imagination.
I have an abnormally large, muscly butt for someone as fit as with someone as
really
small
thought you were going to
waist
stay
as
on the
I
other
have.
side, but okay. I was like, all right.
I mean, so yeah. What is because we live in a time people don't really talk about manifesting, at least.
They won't necessarily say the word manifest. They'll say things like mood boards, or not mood boards, but like vision boards. Mm-hmm. I did a vision board
But in the 90s, did people talk like this? I don't think it was as prevalent.
I don't think it was I think it was very like woo-woo if you talk about manifesting. Yeah. But I do think people realize the power of your thoughts, the power of your words, the power of your intentions. It's there. Mm-hmm. Because it's what you focus on, you feel, but also what you focus on is what you receive. Because like, it's kind of like you say like, okay, when you leave here, you're going to see a bunch of red Priuses. I've now put it in there, and you're going to pay attention to it. You're going to see them. Were you seeing red Priuses when you drove here? No, because I didn't tell you were going to see red Priuses. But now you're probably going to be like, bitch, I got home and counted 10.
Problem is when I see Priuses, I see red. So
also,
because why are you driving like that? Go.
Is there something in the manual that says you can't go over 55?
I mean, I know a lot of Prius drivers who I love, but in LA, something about driving a Prius means
slow.
Hold up traffic.
Seriously.
But
okay.
But
and
yeah,
by the way, the reason I said Prius was because when I was driving to Pilates, I kept getting stuck behind them, and I was like, "Oh my god, it's the pedal on the right." go.
It's like DJ Khaled. Another one.
And then I'd get around him and the road would be wide open. And I was like, okay, so you're the problem.
Mm-hmm.
But
Bless. But okay,
We
yeah.
digress.
So like
But it's almost like the power of suggestion. Like, so if you're only focusing on the negative, like, oh my gosh, I didn't want this and it happened, and I didn't want this, or I'm so scared that this is going to happen. It's what you're focusing on. So guess what you're going to get? What you're focusing on. But if you're really focusing on like, okay, good things are going to happen, I want this and this, then you're going to get more of that. But what I will say, I think I see a lot of people do is, guys, this ain't like throw a wish in a well and just hope for the best. It's you still have to take action.
Yeah.
With the things that you're wanting to bring. So if you're wanting to bring in more money, it's not like I'm manifesting more money and you sit on your couch and do nothing.
Yeah.
Are you an entrepreneur? Are you starting a business? Because then maybe business opportunities will come to you, or maybe a new promotion will come to you. If that's, but like, you have to take action. I
had a friend who I was trying to help a lot. I met him because we worked together, and he was very into manifesting, and we connected a lot on like in spiritual conversations. And I now in my life, opposed to before, like living in the question and what if when it comes to spirituality, because I think the fact is, no matter what, we'll always like not know more than we know. Right. And so it feels like a more truthful place to think, what if like this could be, or this could be,
what if the best
versus
could happen?
Saying I'm 100% sure that this is how things work, like with religion and stuff. So we would have those conversations, but he believed in manifesting to a point where I had done a lot to help him with different things. And in some ways, some people would say even irresponsibly on my part.
Is this who we're
financially? Yeah.
Oh yeah. And, yes.
And at one point he was like really needed money, wasn't going to be able to afford rent, like all these things. And I had a friend who had a catering gig, and it was going to provide a lot of money. And so I called him and was like, we'll hire him like sight unseen. Just let him know when it is, make sure he can do it. Literally didn't have anything else going on.
Because he worked one day a week.
Right. So because he needed the other 6 to recharge. I'm like, you read the Bible backwards. You're supposed to have one day of respite.
To recharge from what? All your 6. Mental manifesting?
So, and I really didn't bring this story up to throw shade at him. But when I called and said, hey, I have this opportunity, he turned it down. And said, I really just believe that God is going to provide this for me. Okay. And I'm like, this opportunity is called provision, bitch.
It's like the story of the guy that falls overboard into the ocean, and he's praying to God, save me, save me, save me. And a boat comes by and is like, do you need help? And he's like, no, God will save me. And another boat comes by, God will save me. And then he drowns, and he gets to heaven and he says, God, why didn't you save me? And he's like, I sent you 3 boats, you idiot.
Yeah.
Like, God will provide. What? That guy was looking for a sugar daddy. That's what he wanted. He wanted somebody to provide him the money without the work, not the opportunity.
Well, he believed that he would like that a stranger would come up, or he would like turn over a rock and see a money miracle or something like that.
It's crazy.
You know, well, I'm just saying, but to your point,
but that's what I'm saying.
You can't just you can't be like, I want this to fall in my lap.
Nobody's walking up to you and just giving you $1 million and being like, now you don't have to work. Like, that's not happening.
And you definitely can't manifest it, because if you could,
bitch,
girl,
then I would need 7 days off too, because I'd be like,
exactly,
I'm busy. I'm manifesting my money.
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 But
now you get to work for these things.
But I actually did some like light research, because it's the only kind of research I do very light. And people like a large, it actually gave me percentages, I just don't remember, but a huge percentage of society but a big old amount of people believe in manifestation. People don't listen to this podcast for our data.
I hope
Jesus
not.
Christ, I hope not. And definitely don't listen to my nap advice if you do.
Oh my God.
That I gave
Please
in another
don't.
episode. But it said people believe it in 3 different ways.
Okay.
Mainly. One is, like you said, because you're looking for something, you'll start to see it, even though it was already there. 2 is some people believe if you start to change micro habits without realizing it that produce results of what you're looking for. But neither of those people really believe in a spiritual effect of it.
Okay.
And then there's a third group that believes in manifesting. It is like an energetic, spiritual thing that happens. It starts to call and bring those things, experiences, whatever, into your life.
I believe all 3.
Yeah, I think I do too.
Like, I definitely think that there is an energy you put out, and that is an energy you get back. And I say it like all the time. I'm like, oh shoot, when it happens, I'm like, oh, I'm in the flow. I feel it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what's Finding Nemo when the turtles are like in the current?
I never watched it.
Okay.
Me in movies. The worst.
But it feels like you're in the current moving with it. And it's like, oh, it feels so good. But it's also one of those feelings where the second you realize it, you're like, don't go away, don't go away, don't go away. But like, I've had it happen so many times over the years where I'm like, oh shit, I'm in it. Like, I feel the actual energy. And then the opportunities start happening. Like, oh my gosh, this phone call happened. And oh my gosh, this came. And then this. And I think it's the energy that I'm putting out that says like, I'm open to receiving it. I'm ready for that. I also think it's the actions that I'm taking to bring more opportunity. And like you said, yes, sometimes it's just being aware of like, oh yeah, that's a thing.
It reminds me like I've talked about Frownies, and a lot of people know what Frownies is. So Frownies, what is my cousin's company, but it was in their family when I was really little.
Yeah.
And when we were all really little. So it wasn't my cousins at that time.
Right.
It was my aunt okay, so Frownies was invented like over 100 years ago, and not a lot of people knew about it. And they had just like orders from people in Hollywood. It was almost like a mail-in service. My cousin's grandma and one of her friends were just 2 ladies in an office filling orders, very low key. And out of nowhere, on the cover of Good Housekeeping magazine in, I think it was 2001, Renee Russo said it was her beauty secret, and at the time, like her only form of anti-aging. And all of a sudden, these 2 women start getting calls from like Nordstrom.
Oh, wow.
Every major department store. They want everything to be filled. And so they did it was like all hands on deck. Around that time is when my aunt and uncle really took it over, had to hire a daytime staff and nighttime staff. They'd come in, and I'm just saying this because I could see this happening with your beverage line in a different way. They'd come in and be like, you guys, we just got to order. We need like 30,000 units for Japan right now. And we'd be like in there putting the boxes together. And it was like this crazy thing that out of nowhere just unlocked. And there is something to that. It's like, maybe you could think that it was just luck. But also when I worked there, because at the time, I think the first day I worked there, I might have been like 16, 17. So it was unfortunately a very long time ago for me.
Damn.
And my aunt would put like yearly sales goals that even because they had this big boom that seemed like outrageous for them to reach on all of the computer monitors.
Oh, okay.
So people would see it and those numbers would be in their head. Yeah. It wasn't like a quota they had to hit or anything like that. It was just that idea of seeing something bigger. And I think there's a lot of power to that. Yeah. And it gets exciting too when you start to believe in that, because it calls you to think about the good and envision the good and envision what you desire.
And then when you feel that in your body instead of the fear, but you feel like the good and what could happen, it makes you want to do more. Mm-hmm. Put yourself out there more, try more, experience more.
Yeah.
What is something that you have manifested?
You know what's another thing that I learned about manifesting? I'm going to answer the question, but I have to give this little preface. Is some people are, and maybe you can be a mix of both. And again, I heard this from someone one time who read a book somewhere, are vision, like they manifest by seeing specifically vision board what they want.
Right.
And others manifest by like finding the emotional state of feeling how they want to feel.
Yeah.
So it's like I maybe didn't manifest the car that I wanted because I specifically was seeing a specific car, but I have a car that I love because I imagined being in a car that I loved. So I'm very feeling when I manifest. And I feel like the first big thing that comes to mind is filming with you and Beachbody.
Yeah.
Like I know we've talked about it before, but the fact is I had no idea what Beachbody was or who you were. And my cousin invited me to try it. I said yes. And I saw the set and my mind started asking questions. Like, I wonder what that set looks like. And sometimes like Nell jokes that it's because of my ADHD that I'm like a really powerful manifester because I'll get lost in my thought about something. So I envisioned being on the other side of the cameras. I envisioned what it was like when you guys yelled cut and when the cameras weren't recording what was happening, what rehearsals were like. I didn't necessarily have a specific picture, but all of this space in my mind was created of what that was like. And then in a chain of events that seem impossible to be coincidence, I found myself in that room and especially 80-Day Obsession. And then when the news came about refilming the 21-Day Fix programs in real time, I was like, holy shit, I manifested myself here. I lived thousands of miles away, didn't know anyone and didn't even know the company.
Right.
And it's like, I think that speaks because there's a lot of people who at that time would have done a lot of action to make that happen. Right. And it's not that that's a bad thing, but it was just in my mind. Like, what is this like?
I really do think you actually have to have both.
Yeah.
I think you have to have the energy, the thoughts, create the space for like, I wonder what could it be? What would it feel like? And then also like, you might not have realized you were taking actions. You weren't like specifically like, I'm trying to get to be in that cast.
But I had a willingness.
But you had a willingness.
Yeah.
And you were out there living your purpose. You were teaching dance. That's how my sister met you in Nashville.
Yeah.
And then obviously I met you because you and Kaylee became friends.
Right.
But like you were still sort of in the entertainment, performance, doing your thing, keeping your vibration high.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's what
me too
brought us.
Me too. And that season, like, you know, you have times where you feel like it's just like turned on and you're in the flow. Remember when I was like, okay, I'm going to move here to film. It was all happening and I didn't even know it was happening. Like when you're in it and it's coming together, because it wasn't this big master plan I was putting together.
No, it was like the puzzle pieces were one at a time
falling into place.
Yes.
And I was like, okay, if I'm going to try to get students here. And it's so funny. I thought that would be hard. And it ended up just being a very natural, great thing that happened for me.
But I think that's in the flow because I think for a lot of people, it would be hard.
And do you remember, you were like, you should try Karina Smirnoff's dance studio.
Because it was in Woodland Hills down like not far from me.
Right. And I called and this is in no way throwing shade at the studio. And I still talk to Karina and the family and like, I love them. And Karina Smirnoff was a dancer from Dancing with the Stars. So for me, and as a ballroom dancer, I started in Ohio. Then that's pretty much what I mainly did for a living in Nashville. People would students or people would always reference Dancing with the Stars. So it was a really big deal that all of a sudden I'm here, her studio was there and you were like, you should try it. So I called and I can't remember. Oh, and I went and met with someone and about teaching. And then the way it all happened, I came back and I was like, honestly, I said to you guys, they don't just need me to teach at that studio. They need me to manage it.
You're like, they need me to run this place.
And within a week, I got a phone call and they were like, could you come in for a meeting, and asked if I'd be open to managing it. And it was like, oh my God. And it's like when you're in the flow, because I do believe I was always manifesting, but a lot of my life I've spent thinking about the things that aren't going to work out and trying to be okay with it.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how a lot of my life was in different areas. But all of a sudden in that flow, it's like I said that, and within a week it was happening. And I didn't do some amazing dance audition.
Right.
It was just an energetic connection that they saw in me, something that they thought could be very valuable. And, and it's really, so that time in my life, it was very turned on.
Yes.
So it's exciting to see how, and I also wonder too, not to like totally take a turn, if the like astrology plays a part in our like seasons of us being really
It's so funny that you
flow.
just said that, because I was like scrolling Instagram yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, sometimes it serves you up people you don't follow. And it served me up this girl, and she was doing a Libra tarot card type reading. And she's like, okay. So I clicked on it, you know, like, Libra, like, let me just hear. But everything she was saying was so freaking spot on for what's going on right now. And then so I clicked over to the YouTube to watch like the longer version of it. And I was like, I mean, it's a little freaky how accurate it was. And she was saying like, abundance, money. Oh my God, there's some big opportunity. It's all coming together. Like she said something about you have a product you're selling or something. Yes, I see it. It's going to be huge. And I'm like, this wasn't directed at me. This was just a random Libra reading. Mm-hmm. But everything she was saying was so spot on that I was like, yeah, I'm here for all of it.
I am a full believer in that. I think I talked about the guy I talked to who's like an astrology psychic before on the podcast. It's been a long time
like
though.
Way back in one of our first episodes.
Yeah, but when
we were having all the ghost stuff,
he said, you know, it's sort of like knowing the forecast. You can't control if it's going to rain, but you can have an umbrella. And I think also, you know, when it's going to be sunny, you know when to dress for it. Yeah. And I think sometimes that also can be like, it's not even the people who say that they're like master manifestors have phases in life where things feel amiss and disjointed, and they have to work through that. And that's just a part of life. But knowing that it's a part of life, you can have an umbrella for those moments and still lean into what you know about the energy you want to put out and what you believe.
I also think in those moments, because that's just life. Like life's going to have its moments where it's challenging, right? Like that's just what happens. Mm-hmm. But I think being able to remember, when I changed this got better. When I changed my energy, when I stopped focusing on the bad. I'm not saying like be oblivious to when things are hard, but I'm saying understanding your energy, understanding like, okay, what is in my control? What can I focus on? What do I want to work towards? This is a hard season. So what do I want to manifest what do I want to bring to me to be better? Like to make something feel better, to make life better. Yeah. And because we're all going to ebb and flow. So just being able to be aware. I mean, there's been plenty of times where I feel like the exact opposite, so out of the flow. I feel like I'm, swimming against the current. I'm like, damn, when is this? Like, I'm about to drown out here. Like, can somebody throw me a lifeline? But the lifeline I have is knowing that this too shall pass. It always does. There's hard seasons. There's good seasons. What can I do to try to help navigate myself out of the hard or back into the good? And really, it just takes a little bit of time of focusing on it and going, okay.
Well, and I think that is actually the really powerful thing about what you said about the red Priuses. Like if I struggle in life right now with the heaviness that's happening. Yeah. And as much as I want to be aware of it and call it out, I also don't want to perpetuate constant fear and negative energy. But it's this, I'm working out in my own personal way in life, like everyone, how to respond to things that we're experiencing in life. But I do think deciding, okay, I've looked at the bad, and I'm not saying don't look, but it's time to look for the good. Look for the joy. Look for like people being kind to each other. Look for the like I said before in another episode about giving the compliment, like these little signs of life, these little moments of light really start to illuminate it so much more. We just forget to look.
Yeah, exactly. Like, okay, so today I was taking Pilates and my teacher had said to me, she's like, hey, because she also trains other instructors. And she's like, I have a instructor that's going to log on via Zoom and just like watch your session. I'm like, great, it's fine. So we're doing our whole thing and we get to the end and she's saying goodbye to the girl that's on the Zoom. And the woman says like, she's like, I don't know if it's unprofessional or not, but I just have to say like, I'm fangirling a little bit. Like I love your programs. I've done 80-day obsession and 9-week control freak. And I was like, that's amazing. And you know, she's like, my girlfriend and her now husband did 21-day fix for their wedding. And they were like in the best shape and they felt so good and they kept going and they've been able to keep the weight. And I have been like, because I've been in such big transitions with everything, with like just work and everything, that sometimes you feel like, do people still want stuff from me? Does it still matter? And so it's just like I just feel like it's been God, the universe, because that's happened. I was at Erewhon 2 days ago, walked up to the hot bar, was like, buffalo cauliflower. And I'm standing there and this guy walks up to me and he's like kind of standing next to me and he goes, I'm sorry to interrupt you. Are you Autumn? And I was like, yeah. He's like, oh my gosh, my wife loves you so much.
Aww.
And he's like, do you mind if I take a photo? She's going to just die. And I was like, of course. And his teen daughter comes walking up and she's like about to say something to her dad. And she looks and she's like, oh my God, no way. And so the dad tells her, he's like, you guys take a photo. I was like, yeah, come here. And I was like, tell your wife hi for me, you know, whatever. So again, it's just like these little nuggets that as you know, yesterday was a big day for me. New app launch, new beverage line. Obviously, no, I have not left Body. I just get to do something in addition to. So I'm very excited about it. But in starting your own app, fitness app, nutrition app, it's like, are people going to want it? And so that to me is being in the flow. That is the universe giving me little reminders that I'm going in the right direction.
Yeah. And it's like allowing
but you have to look for it and allow it to come in.
Yeah. Someone came up to me because they announced that we were moving at church. And she said, I haven't told you this, but I just want you to know what you do is really, really important. And it's funny because sometimes like I feel like sometimes I think my strengths are things like bringing humor and sarcasm to serious situations or lightening moments. And you know what I mean? But and sometimes that can feel unimportant. And I know it's not, but it just meant so much, like to your point, it means a lot for someone to see you. And I think it's important then for us to see that in the world, like see, okay, there are good things. There are good people. There are good moments. And the more you see it, the more it will be revealed to you. There's like someone told a story about how the college they went to was next to this, like it was up on a hill and like with a cliff and there was the ocean. It was this amazing, breathtaking view. And by the end of the semester, they never even looked. And she was like, I just forgot to look. But the view was, that beauty never went away. It was always there.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes we just forget to fucking look.
Yeah.
Like, but if we open our eyes and allow ourselves to like really lean into the excitement of what's real and good instead of the fear or sadness about what, and usually it's not even a fact. It's a lot of times we're upset about what could happen.
Yeah.
Bad.
Oh, you spend so much time in it. Well, it's like there's two sides to every coin. I always say this. So like there's that beautiful ocean view to the right. And maybe to the left, there's like a dump.
Yeah. They're
both right there for you to look at.
Right.
But you're probably busy being like, oh my God, that dump is so gross. Like, why don't they do something about it? That's bringing down and instead you could just turn to the right. It's not even there.
Mm-hmm.
There's that beautiful view. There's the magic. But it is easier to get stuck in the negative. And I think that's why you have to be aware of that and pull yourself out of it. But I think I manifested quite literally working with Beachbody.
I think you did too.
I mean, I was obviously taking a lot of steps in my business as a trainer, but as a trainer, I knew I wanted to help people on a mass scale. I did not have a clue how I was going to do it. In fact, when I first started, I was doing in-home training and I was working with a small little company here in LA. And when I interviewed for that, she's like, where do you see yourself in 5 years? And I explained to her how I saw myself at these live events with hundreds or thousands of people, families, kids, teaching workouts, talking about nutrition, maybe providing different like snacks that are good for you and things like that. I didn't even know what Beachbody was.
Mm-hmm.
Like I knew P90X, but I didn't know that there was like this whole other side of the company.
Like opportunity.
Like that they went and did these live events and that network and all that stuff. And I bought P90X off the infomercial. And I remember I was a brand new trainer at the time. And I literally said to Kent at the time we were living together, like, I was like, I wonder how you get to be Tony Horton. That's it. I put that out there. How do you get to be Tony Horton? It was 12, 13 years later that call came.
Wow.
So it wasn't an overnight thing.
Mm-hmm.
There was years of being in my craft and getting better at my craft and putting myself out there and growing in different avenues. And so you're not always seeing it, right? Like you don't see the whole path. It's one little brick gets laid and then another little brick gets laid. And I've had people ask me so many times, they're like, well, how do I get to do what you did? And I'm like, I can't tell you because there was a million things that I did right and a million things I did wrong. And the wrong things led me here just as much as the right things led me here. Like every door closed that didn't work out for me was a step in the direction to where I ended up.
Yeah.
So you have to trust that your journey is your journey and it's your journey for a reason. So
Totally.
Even when those bad or not, I don't even want to say bad, but those things that are hard are happening, there's lessons in there. There's redirects in there. Nope. You might think you're going the right way. That ain't it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just gonna have to steer you harder because you ain't getting it. Like, and I do think that too.
Yeah.
I think sometimes when you're not on your path, you know, they say, hear the whisper so God doesn't have to scream.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're ignoring the whispers, the struggles are going to get harder.
Yeah.
And they're going to get harder. And they're going to get harder because you're not on your path.
Right.
And it's like, how hard do I have to kick you to get you to turn damn directions? That's the universe. The universe is like, I'm just going to keep booting you in your ass. You don't seem to get it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Also, like, I love that you said 12 years or whatever it was from like that conversation with Kent and you getting the call to sign with Beachbody, because those 12 years, you like you said, you didn't know that was your destination. And I think about how I've come to where I am, and I'm really thankful for the path my life has gone. And there's all these things that are not connected at the time, but they make sense in the future. Like my friend inviting me to become learn how to ballroom dance and become an instructor. That doesn't seem like it has anything to do with getting me to California. But if it wasn't for, and then my brother asking me to sing on tour. So that's what had me move to Nashville. And I started dancing in Nashville because I learned that skill in Ohio. And then that's how I met Kaylee. While I was in Nashville, I was introduced to Beachbody, and all these things like fall into place so I can end up where I want to be. And I remember in Ohio, we had this coach come in. Her name is Maya Cerve, and she was a champion dancer, and she was doing coachings, but she was really into like the law of attraction and manifesting and stuff. And she was like, well, where do you want to be? And I didn't even say it because I didn't have the like confidence to say it. But someone who was in our training, there were 4 of us. The guy who was training, like my boss, kind of the manager of the studio, was like, he wants to be in California. And she was like, well, why aren't you there? And I had all these reasons in my mind why I couldn't be there. So I do wonder if I would have allowed myself to see the potential and the possibility, if it could have happened faster. But I don't have any regret because I see every single piece that brought me here as like a very valuable piece that is also proof to me that all things were working for my good, even though I didn't know they were all working together.
Yeah. I don't think you were supposed to be here any sooner.
Right. I really don't either. I can't imagine a better experience being here. And it's like, I would have had a very different experience.
Yeah.
If I came
completely different path in life if you came earlier.
Yeah.
Because who knows if our paths would have crossed. And that's when you can get a little bit more into the spirituality of like soul contracts. And did we decide before we came down here, like, okay, I'm going to find you when we're ready. And we get to be friends and we get to do this. And, you know, you wonder that we've talked about this before, like with everybody, it's, you know, you think about how many people are on the planet. Just take the United States, like just in one state, like how many people in the likelihood when people come into your life, I don't think any of it's by accident. Like if you didn't get a flat tire one day, if you didn't go into the coffee shop, if you didn't put the Groupon up for Kaylee to get the dance lessons, like it's these kind of like the butterfly effect, like one tiny little decision. You have no idea how it's going to impact your life way down the road. And we don't think about it like that. I do think about it like that all the time. There's somebody in my life that does not think about it like that at all. And it drives me insane because I'm like, you're not actually paying attention to the big picture. Like you're just focused on this moment and this decisions mean this in this moment. But what does it mean for your whole life? Yeah. Like life's long. So what does it mean for your whole life? Like I don't take those decisions lightly. Like because I've learned, because I'm like, damn, one thing
changes everything. And maybe that's why. Like maybe that, like very rarely does when something presents itself, does it only serve the purpose we think it's going to. Right. It turns into something so much bigger. And the truth is, I would bet maybe someone would need someone to sit down and help coach them through their thoughts. But every single person, especially once you're in your 30s and 40s, you can look and see this chain reaction in your life too. Yeah. And I bet you could find a really positive one. And unfortunately, you might be able to find a negative one. But either way, it's proof that in a moment, the entire course and trajectory of your life can be changed. And that is an exciting way to look at life. And it calls us to seize each moment and hold each moment with a little more value. Yeah. To not fleet it away. Right. Like this one's not a big deal. It's only the big decision that is a big deal. It's like, no. Right. Usually the biggest ones aren't the ones, like it's the little small ones that are shaping and moving and redirecting. And all of that comes into manifesting too, I think. And just being strong in your choices when you make that choice, leaning in, but if you recognize that it's not working, also being able to say, I feel like people sometimes get really stuck in the like, well, I said I was gonna da-da-da. And so if I don't, what does it mean? And it's like, if you say you're gonna do something and you're doing it and you realize it's leading you not at all in the direction you want to be going, fucking jump ship. Yeah. Like, when Kent and I moved to Texas, Dom was 6 months old. Totally thought like, okay, yes, that's the right decision. We wanted to be able to buy a house, all the things. We got there and it was like, actually the day we were leaving, I was standing in my bedroom, the house was packed. I was standing in my bedroom holding Dom and Kent was in the living room. And my best friend at the time was over and I was sobbing in the bedroom. And I was like, I feel like we're making the wrong decision. She's like, you're just nervous. And I'm like, no, I'm telling you, I feel it in my bones. This is wrong. U-Haul was packed. Car was packed. We gave up the lease. Kent accepted the job and we went. And I was really trying
when we were there. Like I really was trying to be okay with being there. Like I thought it was what we wanted. We wanted to be more affordable, all the things. And with every day that went by, everything in my body was screaming, this is wrong, get out, this is not. And after 5 weeks, Kent came home from work and I sat him down and I was like, I can't do this. I do not belong here. If I wait any longer, because I had built a whole business of my own here in California as a personal trainer. I had a huge client roster. I was like, if I don't go back now, all those clients are gone. The business is gone. Like I had already passed them off, but I knew like they would come back. And I said, Kent, you can stay or you can go. Or you can stay or come. But
you're going back.
I'm packing the car up this weekend and Dom's coming with me. And that's not why we got divorced at all. Like I did. I packed the car up. Kent drove me back. Like we drove back with me and Dom, took a flight back to Texas. He stayed in Texas for 4 months working that job until he could get transferred back to LA. So we had to pay 2 rents. We had 2 car payments. We had to hire a nanny. I got all my clients back. For the first month I was back in California. I actually went and lived in San Diego with his mom because we were trying to save on rent. And I was driving up in the mornings to see clients and she was watching Dom. And it was, I managed to do it for a month, but Dom was a baby. Like he was, like I said, like 7 months at that point, and I was so exhausted. And my clients were so early in the morning that I finally just said, I'm getting an apartment.
Yeah.
I'm getting a nanny. I saw all my clients. I was done with my clients by 2:00 in the afternoon. And then I was with Dom the rest of the day. But if I didn't come back, I would not have probably ended up
who you are
who
now.
I am now.
Yeah.
I don't think I would have started what was Change My Plate, what got sold to Beachbody and became Portion Fix in 21 days. Like if you make the choice and you think it's the right one and it's not,
you can change.
You can change. And yes, it might be hard and it might cost more money and everybody might question what you're doing and tell you you're crazy. If it doesn't feel like it's your path, get the fuck off of it and get back on your path.
Yeah.
That's why I say to you all the time with Arizona. I know I
was
joke
like, guys,
about
she's
it.
manifesting this for me for Arizona.
No, but I know I joke about it. But I think I joke about it because I've had places that I've moved.
Me to know
I want you to know that if it's hard, and if you get there and you're there and you decide at any point that that is not the place and California's home.
Well, that
totally. You always have a home.
Yeah.
To work it out.
I think about the restaurant and I came to a place, I'm very thankful for that job and thankful for the people there, but I came to a place where I was very unhappy and it just wasn't in my flow. There was no like on paper thing I could say that was so bad. Right. I made great money. They were very flexible. I could pretty much have off if I ever needed, but I just was like, this is not it. I'm not supposed to be in this space anymore, in this capacity. And it's just so funny because we stay in situations that aren't serving us because we're afraid. Let me tell you, what was I afraid of? Ain't nothing bad happened since I left. It's just been up and up, like better. And I'm reminded, and I think it's because I felt so in my flow in the beginning when I moved here. And then I found myself towards the end of that phase of my life at the restaurant being like, did I forget who the fuck I am? Because I'm not living in the energy that I know I'm supposed to live in. And it's like that became a reminder to me, remember who you are. Yeah. And I feel like I've woken up and I'm in that place and it feels exciting because it's like, I don't know what all of these decisions that are being made are going to lead to. Yeah. But I know because of history that they're going to lead to something and it's going to be great. You just have to keep your mind and your eyes on the good.
Right. I will say though, I'm actually so thankful that we moved to Texas and tried that because had we not, I might have always had a little bit more like chip on my shoulder resentment about like how hard it was here in California and expensive it is and we're never going to be able to buy a house and all the things. It wasn't until I left that I was like, bitch, you spent your whole life wanting to get to California and you got there and you had been here for so long. I still sometimes have nightmares of like moving away from California and like just regretting it. And how do I get back?
Wow.
Like, yeah. So, but again, so I'm thankful that we went because it was like, sometimes you have to see what isn't it.
And
that you can appreciate, okay, it does take more hard work here. It takes more money, which means I have to work more. But
it's not as hard as being someplace you're not supposed to be.
it's not as hard as being someplace I'm miserable. And I think when I got back, it just gave me that much more drive to be like, oh, I'm doing this. This is home. This is where I want to be. And look, maybe one day there will be a place somewhere else other than California that I want to be.
Yeah.
It's not as of right now. Like people always say, like, it's time for you to leave California. And I'm like, no, it's not. It's not. I know my friends have left. I've had lots of friends move away. I'll get on a plane.
Yeah.
So it feels good to know where I want to be. And it might be the same for you. You might get to Arizona. That was the long roundabout part of my story is you might get to Arizona and that might be where you're supposed to be. And that might be your place.
Yeah.
And that's exactly where you're supposed to be. And it might not be. And it might be that you want to come back to California, or it might be that you guys end up trying somewhere else. I don't know. Maybe you end up in Puerto Rico. Who knows?
It might be for one random meeting. Like, not that it is, but the thing is, we don't know.
Yes.
And so just holding that opportunity, because like for everyone, like me right now facing a huge life change in terms of where I live, where I physically am in the world, I can think about all that I'm losing and how hard it's going to be to meet people and all of the difficult. But I also have an opportunity.
Yeah, focus on that.
I also have an opportunity to say, even this, it really could be for a very limited amount of time for a very specific purpose.
Yeah.
And I'm just being very open and present and reminding myself that when you start to see something as final is when you sort of start to cut off the ability for it to lead to other things.
Yeah.
But this is just a phase of expansion. That's been really important for me too. It's not that I'm closing my time in California. Right. Like I still feel California is always going to feel, I'm always going to be connected and feel a sense of home here.
Yeah.
Because it's been so amazing to me. I'm just expanding to have some more family time for a while. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's not like I'm cutting off any of that.
Yes.
So
we'll see.
I
do think though, it is really important. Like I'm just going to have this final thought and then we should check for a phone a friend, but that just having a mindset of you're allowed to change your mind.
Totally.
In all areas of life, you are allowed to change careers. If you don't like the career you're in, you're allowed to change places you live. If it's all doable. I know sometimes it can seem so overwhelming and so hard, and finances come into play a lot of the time. But you guys, I've lived more of my life with not finances, like with not a lot of money than I have in these last, I'm 45. I've had 11 years of doing very well for myself.
Yeah.
And all the rest have been paycheck to paycheck, struggling to get by. So I understand. And I made the majority of my moves and things like that when I was paycheck to paycheck, barely getting by. So I'm just saying that like, whatever those choices are, as you go on the journey, if you are ever on a path that you just don't feel like is your path, you can change it.
That's right.
Whether you're manifesting it or you're just saying, this ain't it. There's got to be more. The universe does not work on limitations. So ask for more.
That's right.
The universe isn't on a budget.
And what
Ask
good
for
does
more.
it do for people to believe that manifesting is not like, you know what? Maybe it's not a thing. It's still better to lean into what if it is. Think about the positive. Think about your life expanding, about being prosperous, abundant, and see what happens when you train your mind to go there more. And I think you might be surprised.
Yeah.
Okay. So we have a phone a friend. We love the phone a friends.
We love it.
I'll read it quickly into the record. I'm going to just jump to the phone a friend part. So the question is about work and hoping you all can help. I supervise a small team and have a few individuals that report to me. 2 of them are great and they are on top of things and I don't need to micromanage. One, on the other hand, has dropped the ball multiple times on some very specific things. I don't want to give too much away with what I do, but it's difficult to fire someone. This person has been in their position for about 3 years and should have a good handle on their responsibilities at this point. However, had some health and personal things come up, so I have picked up the slack. We are working on a big project and it's apparent that it is apparent there is some either incompetence or just expectation I will be the one to get things done. It is even to the point they come to me for such minor questions that they should know, or I have to proofread their emails. So I finally got off and laid into them for a big mess up. Sorry, it's a little typo. Found out recently, but actually happened months ago. So really had something tangible to explain they are not meeting expectations. Then the following day, they had a doctor's appointment and now have another health scare. Obviously, I don't wish anything like that on anyone and felt kind of like a bitch with the timing. However, I feel like this will just continue to be there will just continue to be more put on me because I will again need to pick up the slack. With termination not being an option, what else can I do? Have you ever had to deal with someone not pulling their weight at work? How would you handle it?
That's the worst. Yes. And I understand that frustration too, because it's like when somebody's not pulling their weight, well, first of all, like, we don't know what they do, so I don't know why termination's not an option. I'm going to be the negative person for a second, because sometimes I think the worst of humanity. Because I'm like, oh, you got yelled at because you were slacking off, not doing your job, to the point where your boss has to read and proofread your emails. Like, what the frig? And then the next day you went to the doctor and had a health scare. Because I think people know that when there's health concerns, automatically now you can't be let go.
Yeah.
But you also can't not do your job and expect that the boss is going to just do your job for you. That's not fair. Mm-hmm. So we don't obviously know the exact context, but she says she manages a team. So obviously it sounds like she's not the business owner. She probably has a boss. Mm-hmm. I would honestly say that might be something that you have to take to your boss and say, I need to know how you want me to handle this, because this person is not qualified to be doing the job.
Yeah.
And now that we have these medical things, I still think you could sit that person down. Again, I don't know what the job is and what the legalities are, but I would say you could still sit that person down and very bluntly, matter of factly explain, these are your job requirements. Mm-hmm. You need to be able to do them. I won't be reading your emails and proofreading, and I won't be picking up the slack for you. Mm-hmm. And if you're unable to fulfill your job,
yeah,
then, but again, I don't know, because I don't know what the medical thing is and I don't know what the job is. So I know I'm a little bit harsh in that manner, but I do get frustrated because I've been in situations so many different times in many different jobs in my life where, because I am the person that will get shit done.
Yeah, you can't be around someone who's not pulling.
And people start to realize that because you'll pick up the slack, that they can just half-ass it because you'll fix it. And that's unfair.
I agree. So I don't talk about this much because it's very boring, but for a little bit of part of my work, I do depositions, and a lot of the cases are employment issues and things around this. The most practical advice I'd give to this first is, it sounds like if I was her, I would go to my supervisor and say, our team can't meet these needs because we're having to pick up slack that isn't realistic for us to carry by carrying this person's weight. I don't know what their medical condition is. Like me, Donald, I don't know what their medical condition is, but if they have very severe limitations, that doesn't change the demands of the job. And so the person who wrote us, their supervisor should provide relief, or I would change everyone's tasks and say, I understand if you can't do XYZ, but we need you to carry like some significant weight in order for us to get this done. So with your current condition, maybe you can take a task away like from each person of your team that they can do, that you don't have to micromanage as much, and redistribute for a limited period of time and see if that's a little bit more productive. But absolutely, you can't just, a team can't carry someone's weight. And the sad reality is, even if they are sick and literally can't do their job, a lot of times there's provisions and insurance provisions and things for people like that. It's not that I want anything bad them to lose everything because they're sick, but also you can't indefinitely carry more weight. You just cannot.
Yeah. And you might have to, look, if that's the case, you might need to take medical leave.
Right.
But, you know, it's interesting. And the reason I said, like, sometimes I think the worst of people is because it said it's a medical scare.
I noticed that word too.
So it's not like oh my gosh, they just got diagnosed with cancer.
Yeah.
And they have to go through cancer treatment. Because if that was the case, I'd be like, okay, that's right, 100% understandable. But right now it sounds like it's like I might have.
Right.
And I'm like, for that to come in the day after you get chewed out for not doing your job, that seems like a real strategic protect my ass kind of move.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or maybe I'm just...
No. Well, the sad thing is you don't want people to use that kind of stuff, but they do.
I've seen people use it before.
They do.
And it's crazy.
And it really just makes for a very unhealthy work environment.
Yes. That's the other thing. You know, you almost wish that the person that's not like, look, you obviously don't like the job.
Right.
You're not qualified to do it. Really, that person should step down, resign, quit, whatever it might be, because it's so unfair, like, to the company you worked for. If you presented yourself that you were capable of doing the job and now you're not capable of doing the job, you can't have some expectation that they just have to carry dead weight with you not doing the job.
If something happened to me and I knew that I was not going to be able to show up with my team, like for my team, the way that I'm expected, I would care about that.
Yeah, of course.
I would be communicating with them.
Because you're a good person.
Look for exactly. And so if that's not happening, then I would look at redistributing, talk to my upper management about how to handle this, and do whatever I need to, because you can't sustain that. Yeah.
The other thing I was going to say too is, I guess it depends, because when you're the manager, your superiors are expecting the job to get done no matter what. Mm-hmm. But I was going to say, sometimes you got to let somebody fall on their face.
Right.
I always say that though, but then like a lot of times I'm like, oh, I can't let them fall on their face because it affects me.
Yeah.
And but if you are able to let them fall on their face a little bit, then you might just have to let them, because then the superiors could say like, oh no, this was a bad mess up, and no, it's not on your boss to do your job.
Yeah.
So
I hope that
that's
helpful. Yeah. It was not enough information to really get very specific, like this is what I do, but I feel for you, girl.
I hope that the person who has the medical issue, that I hope it does turn out okay and that there's nothing seriously wrong.
Yeah.
And I hope that person maybe goes and finds a career that they really love, and that the person that's having to do all the extra work maybe gets to hire an employee that
is eager to do the job. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
All right.
Thank you for that, Phone a Friend. Thank you for listening to us with our conversation about manifestation. It made me feel really good.
I know, me
Having
too.
these kind of talks like perpetuate more of that. And I think it's important.
Dialed my energy right up.
Yeah.
All right. You know what to do. We love to hear from you. We want to hear your Phone a Friends. We want to hear whatever's going on in your life. Email us at everythingsperfectpodcast@gmail.com.
That's right. And hit us up on social. Give us a follow on Instagram. It's Everything's Perfect Official. And we'll see you next time.
Bye.
When I know